is just heaven sent.
Another politician has just taken center stage. He tells all the people that he loves them so. He comes on like a sage, says with him they should engage. A false prophet selling endless empty prose.
He stepped over dead bodies on his climb to the top. The highest post was his aspiration. But he forgot to read the fine print in the contract that he signed, which caused a U-turn to his final destination. He continued on his pathway of destruction and decay, never thinking that his wicked life would end. He never did take stock that the devil is not mocked, and all those broken fences will not mend.
Another politician has just taken center stage. He tells all the people that he loves them so. He comes on like a sage, says with him they should engage. A false prophet selling endless empty prose. He feels no lament for the lives that he spent. A jackal who thinks he can't be touched. But there will come a day when the devil's birds of prey paint their canvas with his lost soul's carrion brush.
He was with his favorite call girl and his black limousine, doing lines of coke and drinking cold champagne. When he heard the distant rumble of 1,000 bat-like wings, an explosion which caused his ears to pain. His mind was filled with terror as the limo roofs were severed by iron talons that grabbed his soul. There were visceral screams and moans and the sound of crushing bones as the birds from hell flew him to his new home.
Good evening, or morning, depending on your time zone. From the Pacific to the Atlantic to you worldwide. Get yourself a cup of Java and find a comfy, easy chair. And get ready for Gary and his guest on Night Dreams Talk Radio. After Dark. And now, here's Gary.
Well, here I am, and I'll tell you what, tonight is going to be a packed show. We got Calvian Parker on right now talking about, well, his abduction and what it's done to his life afterwards and what got him to write his book, or books, I should say. And then after him, we got Irena Scott will be on for an hour talking about what she did regarding with UFOs. And then at 9:30, we have Ryan coming on with UFO reports. So we got a crammed evening here. Now, James, do you have some questions for Calvin?
Yeah, I got a couple questions. How you doing, Calvin?
Doing great.
When the female alien was sticking her fingers up your nose and back up in your head and in your cavities up there, was she trying to put an implant in there, do you believe?
I really believe that's what she was doing. And it was really painful. And whether she got it in or not, I don't know. I assume she had a mission, and I think they, like anybody else, they come here on a mission and they accomplish their mission and then went on about their business. And whatever they had to do it, they did. And I really think that's why she pulled out her fingers as fast as she did.
Right. And wasn't it validated, there was evidence validated from your doctor that examined you guys, that there was documentation proving that, you know, in his words, to validate your guys' abduction?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they, well, you know, it was validated several times. And then some of the witnesses had seen this, plus the puncture marks on her arm, and both Charlie and I had them, and then just a pure fear, then a tape. You know, there's a lot of evidence that came back, and that's the only reason this second book came forward. And, you know, I didn't really want to do the first book. I did it because I felt kind of obligated to do it. I'm glad I did. But the second book, I really got into, and I've enjoyed. I still read it every now and then. And Philip done most of the second book there. I mean, I got to give the man credit. He did all the research and pulled all this together, everything in it. Him and Irene Scott, just to give her a lot of credit. And I'm looking forward to listening to her tonight.
And
so,
do you think? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm. That's good.
Do you think these beings? You think they've been watching you all along? And if so, how many times do you think they may have abducted you?
Well, I don't know about the abduction times, but something brought back a memory tonight. I was watching this JFK special that I had taped earlier today. And I remember back when this was going on, right after JFK got assassinated, and this is the time limit that I was kind of putting on it. Me and my brother had to share a room because we had a small house, and we shared the same room. Sometime we'd sleep in the same bed. Most of the time, though, one of us sleep on the floor and the other one sleep in the bed. But I remember him hollering out one night. He called me Pee-wee. Pee-wee, there's a ghost blowing in your ear. Well, my ear was wet, and it scared me, and it scared the daylights out of him, and everybody come running in there. They said, what's wrong? And he said, there's a ghost that was blowing in Pee-wee's ear. And I think, actually, that night could have been an attempt of maybe not an abduction, but like an examination. And then, I think it's 2 or 3 more different times that I'm not for sure. All these is really hard to be sure of. Now, a lot of it come out. Kathleen Martin did a good hypnosis job, 3-hour session on me. And there's a lot of information that was more detailed that come out in that. So, it's just hard to say.
Yeah, and that is something that brought back those memories today. And because I was thinking too, I bet they've probably abducted you or did it, like you said, examinations right there in the room several times. Maybe you just don't know it, and hopefully you can have some more regressions and maybe bring out some of these memories.
Yeah, and I'm not for sure that I want to remember any more of these memories. I've just about got my houseboat ready, so I'm going to be spending a lot of memories on there.
I bet. Now, before you go to bed at night, do you ever, your anxiety levels get amped up, wondering are they going to come back tonight? Or, it surely got to weigh on you somewhere along the line.
Well, to be honest, when I'm up, I try to keep myself busy, so when I go to bed, I'm give out. And I go to bed about 5 during the evening, but I'm up at 11 o'clock or no later than 1 o'clock every morning, and I'm up all night then. I just find it hard for me to sleep with my family in here and thinking something can happen to them. Of course, I've never told them the reason I do this, but that's the reason, you worry about not necessarily myself, but you worry about the people around you. And that maybe something like this happens. So I call myself getting up, protecting my family, my little dog, and I just don't sleep at night. I'm nocturnal.
I got to ask you a question. I'm going to jump in real quick. Terry Lovelace, has the same problem, and not just him. Whitney has the same problem. Wanting to go to bed at night, not being able to sleep the whole night through. And just worried. Now, I know Terry Lovelace said he carries a high-powered flashlight next to his bed with a gun. Do you have anything like that? Are you worried about being abducted again? Because Terry Lovelace said the next time they try to abduct him, he's going to take one of them out. He's not going to be abducted again.
Well, I worry more now about people than I do the aliens. And I got guns in the house, and they just for somebody kicks in my door. But I don't want it. My motto is I carried one for years, but if you carry a weapon on you, sooner or later you're going to have to use it. And I don't want to hurt nobody, so, I don't even want to hurt them. I just want them to leave me alone.
Well, why did you carry a weapon on you for years?
Well, I was a bounty hunter for a little while, and that's pretty dangerous work at times, so I got used to carrying one. I had a license to carry it, and I just carried it. And I still got every room in the house, it's got some kind of weapons in it.
Interesting. Well, James, I'll let you get back and ask questions. I just wanted to ask those couple of questions there.
Yeah, I did. Very good questions. Calvin, do you think these entities or beings, whatever you want to call them, that have been abducting you or observing you, do you think it's all the same species? It's not. Do you think it's different ones involved too, or is it the same ones?
I'm pretty sure physically it's got to be the same ones, but who's to say they don't have masks on? They can't disguise their language. Who's to really say what's behind all that? And I never thought about that. Somebody mentioned the other day, well, that could have been a mask they had on just to keep from scaring you. And I got to thinking, well, they've learned a language to keep from scaring me. They made it kind of soothing. I've always said, they said, well, what did she look like? I said, well, if I was in a bar drinking and I happened to bump into her and I was a single man, I'd probably ask her out on a date. So she looks normal, like an old redneck girl. Mm-hmm. My kind of women, I don't like a high society person. I've never been that way. I like just a plain old personality person, somebody you can talk to and be around, and I got that in my wife,
Well, let me ask you another question. Do you think they may mimic things or maybe play on your brain and pull memories out of your brain of something that you like, and maybe they can mimic and project that to you to maybe calm you down? So maybe you've seen them other times and didn't realize it.
Well, I really do believe that. And one thing that made me believe this, we went on a little trip to Florida. I got to meet Bud Hopkins and all out there. And when we was talking, I was talking to this girl, Debbie Jordan and Bud Hopkins, and some more of my friends was out there. And I was talking to this lady. She said, I'm a walk-in. Well, I didn't know what a world of walk-in was. And she said, yeah, I'm a walk-in. And by golly, she was trying to pretty well had me convinced there for a little bit, because she was saying things that, she shouldn't know. And she said, come with me, I want to show you something. So we went up. It was a high-rise apartment, 16, 17 stories. Walked out on the balcony, and she said, look, we're going to prove to everybody who we are now. We're going to fly off this balcony. And I just looked at her and said, ladies first, go right ahead. And I turned around and got my butt out of there.
Yeah, that was kind of a scary moment. What do you think was the agenda there with that?
I don't know. I don't know if she was just some crazy somebody I met, or if she really was a walk-in. But what made me feel like it, she knew details about me that nobody should know. Everybody has their skeletons in their closet and everything. And there's a lot of things that goes on that you just don't tell people. And she knew solid details. I mean, she knew some things my wife didn't even know.
Yeah, that'd be enough to scare you right there. Now, when you were on the ship, was there any distinct smells that that was, if you smelled it again, it would definitely remind you of being on the ship?
Well, I get reminded that every day living here on the Gulf Coast. There are smells that you just can't get rid of, like this the Gulf Coast, living on this water, you have a dead fish smell. We got a